Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show episode 197. So as I keep saying at the moment, we are getting closer to episode 200. So that should be a good one. But yeah, obviously we're here to talk about a win. Bloody hell, it's been so long since we spoke about one of them. It feels good that we are going to be talking about one of them, and a bit more on Rob Edwards, but obviously that'll link in with the game. But yeah, first of all, Dad, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Had a cool weekend, so I'm all good. Hopefully everyone else is cool as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hopefully everyone else had a good weekend. Obviously, if Luton fans that will tune into this obviously would have had a very good one. Getting that win, early kickoff as well. It's always nice to win the earlier games because then you can sort of sit back and relax and watch the other games happen. And that's how it was for us this weekend. But yeah, obviously we took on Millwall. Going into it, we didn't think that we'd get a win. We both thought it would come this weekend, which we will be at, by the way, guys. We've got our tickets confirmed today. We're actually in a new stand, so that's gonna be pretty cool. No poles in the way. That's actually gonna be pretty sick. But yeah, obviously the lineup. Rob Edwards, he made some, you could say, bold changes, but they worked. They worked, and no complaints. And I did like to see Morris drop because I felt it was needed. If you're gonna play him deep, then you might as well drop him, in my opinion, just because he's not being as effective. Because we know he's better ups alongside Elijah. But yeah, the lineup: Kaminsky in goal, obviously. Mengi, McGuinness, and Burke, the back three. The back three, I exactly said. Bell was actually playing as a wing back. I was surprised he started just because, like I said, going into it, the Jamaica situation where he played back-to-back full 90 minutes. Doughty was on the right. Again, we've seen him chop and change there in games. Seen him start there a few times, but not for a while. Walsh earned a start. Good to see. He's deserved it. Every single game he's come on in, he's been at least trying to be effective, or he has been in some sort of way, whether that's trying that special pass or stuff like that. Nakamba, first league start for him for a very long time. Good to see him back in, and it allowed Walsh to, have that freedom and luxury to go forward, make that pass, and if that pass doesn't always work, you've sort of got Nakamba there to do the dirty work essentially. And then it was Chong. I think Clark was on the right, and then Elijah was just ahead of them up front. So quite interesting. I don't mind seeing Clark higher up at all. I think again he's a player you can't really drop at this moment in time. And if you are going to drop Morris, I guess putting Clark on the right is good because he is actually a right-sided, player. And then as for the bench, we had Anderson, Holmes, Morris, Victor Moses, Ruddock, Nelson, Shea, Taylor, Woodrow. Now, looking at that, I'll be honest, at the time, my worry was no Baptiste. I know Walters was ill, so, I know he trained, but he probably still weren't up to, 100% when it comes to being, ready to go in this game. But then again, the more I think about why Baptiste potentially wasn't in this game is because it's a game that more suits, like a Nakamba, definitely, in the sense of, Millwall more physical side. Baptiste one of them that will try and get on the ball when he's quite quick and fiery in that sense. And we know Walsh can do a bit of both from what we have seen. Obviously he's more predominantly going forward, but yeah, I mean, it was one of them where I like to see what I see in the sense of Morris being dropped. I mean, a few people asked me on the watch along, am I surprised about that? And I said no, because like I've said, if you're not going to play him up front, he hasn't been great. Again, like I say, he hasn't played where he's wanted to probably ideally play. But at the same time, you look at Elijah. Elijah's been having chances as much as he hasn't scored. Morris hasn't really, from the top of my head, had a big chance, especially if you're comparing it to Elijah's this season so far. So wasn't really surprised. Chong definitely deserved to continue to play. He's been effective. Obviously, he's one of the goal scorers for us this season as well. And Clark, like I say, you can't really drop him either. So I didn't mind that, to be honest. Obviously it was the same formation. We thought that before we watched the game. We thought it maybe be potentially a 4-3-3, but looking at how the game went, it was sort of what we've been going with. But what did you make of the lineup and the
Yeah.
change?
Well, Mengi and McGuinness, I knew they'd be starting. um, it was nice to see Clark push further forward. As you said, Morris he's not effective as much in them positions, and yeah, the camper starting that was good to see. So yeah, it was good to see that changes had been made. You had to make some sort of change, whether it be the formation or the people working within that formation and get that correct. Then, so that's what he done, and we know Clark's better in them attacking positions anyway. He's decent in midfield, but he's always been better in them positions. That's always natural position. I wouldn't be surprised to see that going forward, them three in them positions or interchanging. I think now Morris will as he'll come on and he'll go up front. Do you know what I mean? Not in them positions. So yeah, it's interesting going forward. Who's gonna start in certain positions and that? But after a while, you'll get the defense locked down, which after that performance, they pretty much are locked down. It's good to see as well that Doughty was switched. I think he can play either side, but we know Bell can play there, so that was good to see. Probably the first time he started there. I don't even know. Do you know what I mean? I don't even. He didn't start there at all in the Premier League, I don't think. So yeah, it was good to see that, and it works. So let's see what it's like going forward. But yeah, I was pleased with the changes.
Yeah, and it's like we say with Bell as well. Us and I know a few other Luton fans think he's much better as that sort of wing back, because it's more natural to him. We know he can do a job in centre back, but it also doesn't give him that freedom, does it? Sometimes, and you see in this game, it definitely did, and obviously he still had Doughty on as well, so it was always good. As much as Real Waters has been probably the standout player, or at least one of them. We have got them other options there as well, and obviously they were effective in this game and were a massive part of the win in the end. But yeah, moving on to the first half, quite dominant yet again. For me, it was very similar to the QPR first half. In the sense of the domination, really, you could say we did get a goal, obviously, in the first half. Mengi, what a goal! He said he's been doing that in training. Which fair enough, it worked. You wouldn't really usually expect a defender to come out and say that, but it's a great strike. And for me, I've said it yesterday on the Championship show. A lot of the goals I've seen this weekend have been incredible. In the Championship, Premier League, whatever, and that was definitely one of them, especially for a centre back. For it to not even take a deflection, because sometimes they do. It didn't even do that. It's brilliant play to actually get him. And again, I've been saying this for weeks. We should be doing this more in the sense of taking them pop shots against, not even certain teams, just teams in anyone really, because we have definitely got the players that can ping the ball. You've seen that. Obviously, he wasn't involved in this game, but we know Baptiste definitely can. You've got Clark. Look at the goals he scored against Manchester City last season. You've got even strikers, they can hit it from outside the box. You've seen it at their time at Luton a few times. So it was good to see. It was a great finish. I like the way that we were calm in that moment as well. We weren't, trying to do no sloppiness and give it away and rush things. Like probably the Preston game, you could say, for example, in that sense. And it's very controlled. And then it was a great finish from Mengi. Obviously, I was going mental. I was loving it. But what did you make of that play, Dad?
Yeah, obviously an excellent finish. I think he can score. He scored a few goals for us really already. Do you know what I mean? But that was obviously the best one we've seen. Like I say, he does it in training. I think about 3 days before that, I was playing a bit of FIFA, and I swear I scored a goal like that with him as well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, good team goal. Played the calmness on the ball, and the camera was involved. Do you know what I mean? Walsh obviously got the layoff, perfect pass, and yeah, he just thought I'd take it on. Their defense maybe could have headed it away, but it was such a pace, and you're not expecting it really, are you, as well? So yeah, it's a great finish, good team goal, and yeah, probably deserved. I think. You know what I mean? So, well, yeah, I was pleased with it. Pleased for him as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, I feel it's definitely deserved because the way we started the game was very similar to QPR in the sense of being very dominant. And you could say Rob Edwards' style of play coming in. Obviously, it is going to take a while, but you could see in these last two games in the first half, they've been very effective, with the way of the quick passing. Like I say, we're not nervous in that moment of the goal. We're not trying to panic and rush things like we have in previous weeks, if we're being honest. So stuff like that, when it comes to that. But yeah, we definitely deserved it for me going in, for 1-0. And then second half, I mean, Millwall applied a bit of pressure, as you would expect. They are at home, but then again, I think loads of the big chances they had, come back to us, with our own sort of mistakes. You look at the big chances they had in this game. Obviously when Ruddock come on, not a great pass from him at all. Try playing it to Walsh, I believe it was, and then they sort of went one on one. Great save from Kaminsky. I mean, if that's previous weeks, we probably do concede, and we have them sort of goals. Early on in the season, Rob Edwards said that in his post match as well. But again, we know it. Like, we love Ruddock, but going forward, he's not the answer. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not getting too worried about that because he's not gonna be that guy to come on, in games going forward, because we will have a Baptiste there or Walsh, whoever's there. Do you know what I mean? Even Kraus now, we'll have him as well, Nakamba. Do you know what I mean? They'll be the main four. Might be forgetting someone else. Oh yeah, Clark as well. Clark will interchange whether he'll go higher up like he did in this game, or he's another option there. So I wouldn't be too worried in that sense. But Kaminsky, his saves, he got a deserving win from it. A lot of players are really, really good in this game. Especially in the sense of grinding out a win. I said it on the watch along. It reminded me of when we played Blackpool away, Dad, when we went to it, in the sense of, how hard we fought in the end to get that win, especially defensively, the blocks and stuff like that. Reesberg, I thought it's unbelievable in the game, like I said. Especially for the fact he's come in three games now and he's been good in every single game. He's been really, really good. I mean, I remember when we were talking Star Fader, Dad, we went to Fulham, and he said, he likes Bert the most, and he thinks he's the best centre back. I mean, obviously there's your shouts for, Mengi's obviously up there, and that, McGuinness will have to be up there because of that price that we paid. But Burke he's on form. He's on proper form at the moment. And again, Walsh was really, really good in the game, trying them complex passes, you could say. But I like that, he's picking out that pass, and they could be killer passes, in certain games going forward this season. If we can keep him fit, he's going to be massive. And I know a few people are a bit too critical of when we signed him just because of that injury record, but I'll tell you what, he's a good player, and he's showing that in these signs, especially with the fact, even the teams that got rid of him, like Coventry and Swansea, they were saying he's a really good player on his day, and you are seeing that. So massive shout out to him. He unbelievable in the game. Kaminsky could be up there for them saves, them two saves, obviously the corner right at the end as well. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a well fought win. Thoroughly deserved, definitely 100%, in my opinion. Like I say, their big chances were from our mistakes, if we're going to be honest. So to go there, like I said on the watch on, to go there, get a clean sheet, get a win, is very good. They had a goal scorer who's up there in the top goal scorers this season so far in Watmore. I'd say we fairly kept him quiet. He got on the ball a few times, but didn't really, have huge chances. So it's one of them where, credit to defence, credit to Rob Edwards, he got it right. He made some decisions and they turned out to be right. So yeah, no complaints for me. But your thoughts on the second half overall, Dad?
Yeah, we had more chances. Chong, again, we was better with our set pieces, a bit more, put them under a lot more pressure. And You know, even the first goal, it came from a Chong cross, and then he had that swivel shot, and you know, it was so unlucky, just hit the post. Then Mengi had another chance where the keeper saved it. Balls another one. Clark got the ball laid off to him, sort of hit it in the ground a little bit. And then Walsh had a couple of decent shots as well. You know, so we did have a lot. We did cause them problems. I'd say that, you know, I've heard the Millwall managers reckon that they played better, but I think it's quite even. You know, we're the away team. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, they created some chances, but so did we. Do you know what I mean? And you know, we could have been 2-0 up if that Chong shot had gone in as well. So yeah, I thought it was decent. It was a decent performance. It's not the best performance, obviously, but we've probably played better than that and not won.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we got the job done. But there's still moments. I went sloppiness. Obviously, when Ruddock come on, that was a sloppy pass, and that nearly cost us the game. It's just, you know, the points. Let's be honest. And then towards the end, we were getting a bit more nervous, and that we shouldn't really be doing. Do you know what I mean? But I can understand it. They ain't won in 28 whatever games it is. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be all changed now. You know, they'll have that confidence boost and that. Yeah, we can play better. I think it's more the fact that our players are quality. So, you know, it should be a lot more comfortable than that. But it's the Championship. You've got to grind out them ones. It's a tough place to go.
You know, exactly.
Yeah, they're definitely doing well. You know, pretty well. You know, they got a lot of experience. So I don't think it was terrible. I think it was pretty decent. And if you're playing, we weren't poor, but if you're not playing to your best and you're still winning, then you've got a good side, haven't you? You know, Man United used to do that all the time, just grind out like wins, even when they were playing terrible. So, yeah, I thought we still had enough chances to win it. But we know about Kaminsky anyway. You know, he's a quality goalkeeper, and you know, this normally he makes them saves, but we still lose or we concede or whatever. And you know what I mean. But this time it actually counted. So, you know, that'll give him. He doesn't really need confidence, but it'll give him a boost, more confident in his defence, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do his job without, you know, having that in the back of his mind. You know what I mean? Like, a little bit sharper, it'll make concentrate a little bit more to if everyone else is playing right and you're the last man. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I thought it was decent enough. But, you know, there was maybe could have done a little bit more, but you know, that's probably, you know, that is the best Championship team I've seen us for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe since 2005 or whatever, 7. And when we played Liverpool in that FA Cup game, that team, this is probably on them levels, or if not better. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if we start scoring goals with the strikers, then it probably would be better. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was what we needed, and we got there. You know what I mean? We weren't really struggling back towards the end. They've just done their jobs. Do you know what I mean? I've seen this a lot worse, panicking and kicking it, this, that, and the other. We've still, and again, like I say, we're adapting. You know, the only thing I don't like, but all teams do it, is to pass them around the back. You know, it's going to cost you.
Yeah. I don't like that, as we know.
It costs any team. Do you know what I mean? Even last season when we played Man City, it didn't cost them, but it cost them a goal when Barkley, like, you know,
true,
in and ended up scoring. Do you know what I mean? So it affects any team, and the worse you are at it, the worse it's going to be for you. I don't think we're terrible at it, but Kaminsky's not that great with making the quick passes like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you slow ones and that, you know, there's not much pressure, but when there's pressure there, he's ended up whacking out for a throw or open hitting out. And, you know, say he's improved. It's just not his game. We shouldn't be putting him under that pressure in the first place. For me, but yeah, clean sheet, 3 points, rivals. You can't really ask for more. But I do expect a more sort of composed, controlled, more flowing. Because at times he was showing like little bits of trickery in that, like that extra technique, which we should be doing anyway because we've got them players. There was a moment I think one of our players got fouled, but he flicked it out to Doughty to run on, and the referee could have played on, but he didn't. And things like that, and the goal, and Chong, that's if he'd scored that, that would have been
Unreal.
attack. So that's what I want to see more of them using their actual technical ability and being that confident, and that'll get there now. I think they'll be really up for the next game, and we won't get into it too much, but we've got a pretty decent record. They haven't, I think they beat us once in 20 years at Luton. Anyway, definitely. Do you know what I mean? I think it was a 1-0 a couple of seasons ago or something like that. But normally we're beating them. So yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. Obviously we'll get on to what Rob Edwards said, which was quite refreshing, to be honest. And obviously the player ratings and that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But good opportunity to capitalise, on the weekend on that win, that confidence booster, like we say. And let's go through some comments before we get into what Rob Edwards said. And talking on Edwards, he's got to be ruthless if he wants to get promoted. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And obviously we like him being in charge and that. But there was just some games for me where he's a little bit. I don't know what the right word is, but he weren't. I rate that he's not, calling out individual. I don't like managers that do that publicly and that. But I don't know. He was sort of like. I could understand it last year, because we played like Man City, Liverpool, whatever. I could understand that. I don't know. I just felt it's a little bit. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But it's sort of like tried hiding it at some points, when we were doing sloppiness and that. But I really liked his post match on Saturday. I really did, because as much as we won the game, he weren't happy, and I like to see that because that's showing that he has ambition to come back up, and he really wants to play much better than that. And we still won, so I'm happy because we won. Do you know what I mean? I know it wasn't a great performance, and we did get away with maybe that Ruddock incident. But at the same time, we won the game, so that's all that matters for me, really. And hopefully now we get that kickstart, because we've been saying it. As soon as we win that game, hopefully that's a kickstart. And now I really think it is, because again, without getting into it too much, I think it's a good time to play Sheffield Wednesday. I really do. I look at their game the other day. They were 1-0 up, scored a fairly late goal. Great goal, by the way. Barry Bannon, top player. I've always rated him. But then to concede in the manner they did, how was the ball in the box for that long? Crazy. But yeah, they're not getting the results since the opening day of the season. So good opportunity being at home as well for me. But again, we'll get into that later on in the week. Shout out to David inside. Yeah, hope you're all good, mate. Make sure you check out David's fan cam that he did. He couldn't unfortunately do them at Millwall because you know what it's like, police escorts and all that. But he did do one himself, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But we're good. And yeah, he was obviously full of applause for Liam Walsh. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, there was a stage on the watch along where I did proper have him up there for man of match. Obviously, I will get into mine. There's a lot of shouts this week, so it'd be quite interesting to see who we both go for. Think we can make it a winning streak. Yeah, we have got a few difficult games, I'd say, coming up, but the next one is a good opportunity for me. The one after that, I will be going to, by the way, Plymouth away. I mean, it's their first home game since that win. They got a very difficult game on the weekend. I can't see them winning. West Brom away. But, we'll see. And then one of the next 5 games, the 5th game, is them guys. So hopefully we do win that. But we'll see. We've got a few other games as well. Sheffield United away. That's going to be quite interesting. We do have a good record, especially the last couple of seasons. But again, we'll get into that game at a time. But yeah, prediction for this weekend: 3-0. Geez, yeah, I could see. Like we say, we do think there will be a time where we will win quite convincingly. And again, without getting into it too much, it might be this weekend. You never know. Terry says Luton much better team. Yeah, I agree, especially in the first half. And like I say, their big chances mainly were, in my opinion, from our mistakes. You know, like they were decent. Don't get me wrong, but I do think we deserved it for sure. But yeah, getting into what Rob Edwards said. So he basically wasn't too happy with the performance. Obviously, he's happy we won and everything like that. But there's still much more that we need to obviously improve on. And again, I expect this. It's a new style of play. And a lot of players will take them a bit longer to adapt to it. And I agree, Dad, with the Kaminsky thing because I remember when we signed him and the Blackburn fan we brought on. He said to me when I asked him at the time on, messages on Instagram, like, "What's your thoughts on Kaminsky?" And that he said, "Very good shot stopper." We've seen that how many times since he's been at Luton. But his distribution can be a bit questionable. But again, like I always say, even the top keepers, their distributions, not great. So I agree going back to what you said in the sense of I don't want to see him having that pressure in the sense of playing it back to him and doing that because we know he's not, the best at distribution wise. Shot stopping, unbelievable. The amount of times he saved us in this game. But that I do agree. I do think, yeah, I don't like the passing at the back. I really don't. 'Cause it is risky. Like there was a time where Elijah done really well. Do you remember this part of the game, Dad? He done really well. I think he got past three players, but then played it back because obviously he was more in a defensive sort of area. Played it back to Kaminsky, and then Kaminsky sort of passed it back to him, and I was sort of like, I don't know what he's doing there because Elijah had someone marking him. It's just little bits like that, but overall, especially with the ball on the floor, and weren't necessarily this type of style when he first come in, but you could see the sense of the passing, the quick passing around the floor. When we play like that, we've definitely got the players to do that. We've got Chong, we've got Walsh who could do that. We've got loads of players, Clark. So I don't mind that aspect. It's just sometimes the passing around the back is a bit of a worry. But yeah, again, a lot of teams do it. Nowadays, which it is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. When it pays off, it looks very good. But yeah, he weren't too happy. And like I say, I really liked his post match because he said it how it is, and he wasn't happy with. Obviously, he's happy to get the win, but he knows there's much more improvements to come. So yeah, good interview from him, and I liked it, and I know you did as well, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't got it up. I mean, I did listen to it, but it was interesting. He wasn't all smiling, and do you know what I mean? And he wasn't. He still knows there's more to come. So I think that's his way now we've said we want him to be tougher and stuff. Sometimes we've talked about it forward. Sometimes I think he might be too nice. Like just drop it, mate. We do this. And that's what he basically is doing. I don't think it was a terrible performance. You'd almost think it was by the way he was, but it wasn't. But I could see, obviously, we could see why. We could have lost that. We could have lost that game at the end potentially, or we could have definitely have dropped points. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he's more, annoyed about. And that's good to see. Nathan Jones was like that. Remember at time we watched a friendly against St Albans and we beat them 6-3, but we let him he was fuming, and that was a friendly, that sort of thing. See, I do get it, and I do like to see it. And yeah, we should have scored more. Maybe should have had more from Elijah. He was all right, but he should be. He's one of the best strikers in the league, isn't it? Obviously we're looking out for him and stuff, and Tanganga's a decent defender and that, but. Yeah, no, it was. I liked it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, I liked it. It's probably my favourite interview that he's done. Obviously, other than the player final one, that one was obviously very emotional and obviously very, very good to see. But you know, that one I liked it for the sense of, you know, he sort of weren't having no BS, if you get what I mean, in that sense. So, yeah, that was good, man. That was good. Yeah, David said this before. We said about passing it around the back thing. The only thing I did say is stop playing it around the back. Morris needs to make more of an impact.
We won't. That's the way we're going to play.
No, yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
We're going to do it. It's just about doing it at the right times. But you know,
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
goal, it will.
And making the right passes. You know, like I say,
you know, a lot of teams do it because you're keeping the possession, aren't you? So, you know, if you can then do it and then play that pass to the midfielder and then get something going, it's probably it's more effective than just lumping it up there and you know getting it. You know, especially thinking about you know the amount of goals we have conceded from teams just doing precisely that. You know, lumping it forward. You know what I'm saying? So we've conceded more goals by doing that, letting that happen, than you know playing it at the back. Basically, yeah, it is risky, but you know, there's certain teams you can do it against, certain teams that I don't think you should do it against. You know, but it is going to be going to be a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know a lot of fans don't like it, but that's the thing about modern football. But at the end of the day, you just got to get used to it because we can say we need to. It ain't going to stop. Do you know what I mean? It's just when to do it against certain teams, and I know Sheffield Wednesday play like that as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they play a high line as well.
You've got to have certain players to do it. So you know, we've got players. Burke can pass it around the back. Let's be honest, he's probably one of the best pass defenders we've got. McGuinness, you know, is still bedding in. You know, but Mengi
much better from McGuinness though. Like, not that he's been poor, but that was just like there was no sloppiness from him in that game. He was really good actually.
It was like he's just slotted straight in basically. But yeah, you know, and yeah, it's good to see Burke starting actually. So
yeah, definitely, man.
But we know when he's in form, he's decent enough, especially sort of going forward and that and keeping hold of the ball and that, as well as we said that before, but we felt that his defending at times wasn't that great, was it? But so far this season, it's been pretty decent, isn't it?
So, just don't put him on the left side of centre back. He's much better on the right for me.
Yeah, that's his natural. Mengi was playing on the other side, I think, or in the middle line.
I think him and McGuinness chop and change at times.
Yeah, swapping. Yeah. But yeah, you know,
yeah, and on the Morris thing, we said it when we spoke about the game after Dud. You know, that's definitely not warranted an opportunity to start again for him because he was trying to get holding up the ball and that, but he didn't really do much that's going to set a light for him to be involved. And you know, obviously we get into lineups on Saturday, but for me, you can't really change too much, if anything. Going into that game, you can't really change a winning team. There's only one change I'd maybe think of, but obviously I'll get into that nearer the time. Stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings now for this Millwall game. So obviously starting off with Kaminsky in goal. Like them two shot-stopping saves, he could be up there for your man of the match. He's in my top 3. He's not quite my man of the match, but very good. Did get a yellow card, and I'd probably say that one was actually time wasting, unlike the one away at Portsmouth. But yeah, you know, them saves, you've got to give him a fairly high rating. So I am actually going to go with a 7.5 for Kaminsky.
So I'll give him a 7. Obviously, they were good saves, but there was some flappy moments from him, like with kicking out and things like that. Time wasting. It wasn't even a deliberate thing. I think they were just not communicating properly. Like it was a bit weird because he was complaining about it. Like, but obviously the reason I'll give him a 7 as well because he makes them saves game in, game out. Do you know what I mean? So he does it pretty much every game. But obviously, you know, they have contributed to us getting a point and stuff. But I'm not going to go super high because it wasn't a perfect performance. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to give him a 7.
Mm-hmm. I really rate the save with the foot because you know that was sick. You know, in the sense of when they're 1-1 like that, usually 9 times out of 10 they score. and for him to save that was really good. Obviously, the one at the end was good as well. But yeah, I agree. His distribution wasn't the best, but again, we know it's not. So I'll say 7.5. Terry has gone with an 8 there. So yeah, 2 good saves. Yeah, exactly. And then moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Burke. He is my man of the match. I thought, that block he done in the second half, it was unreal. First 3 games he's come back, he's been unbelievable. He definitely deserves to continue to play. Obviously, our only worry with him is his injury problems, but touch wood, he doesn't get anytime soon. So yeah, in this game, very good, very good. My man of the match, like I say. So do you know what? Burke did get a clean sheet, but I'm not going to go double figures, but I am going to go with a 9.
Okay. I thought all the defenders were good. Do you know what I mean? To be fair, so I just thought he was playing, his natural position. Obviously, the way he passes the ball around. He's definitely confident in this league. So yeah, I thought it was decent. I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Burke 10. Burke man of the match, Luton's best defender. Yeah, again, a lot of people say that. A lot of people have said that for quite a while. I mean, if he's, like I say, if he's proper, not injury free is what I'm looking for, then he's definitely up there. There's no 2 ways about that. Moving on to McGuinness. Again, I would say this is probably the best game I've seen him in so far. Not like I say, the other games he's been good, but he's just had them sloppy moments, like the QPR one, obviously. And Preston, there was a little moment, but overall, he has done well throughout his time. And yeah, in this game, I just thought he's really good. If any, you look at flash scores, he did actually get the highest rating, which is quite interesting on that. So yeah, I mean, he's up there for me. Do you know what? I'll go with a 7 for McGuinness.
I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he was decent. A lot of headed clearances. There wasn't a moment where it looked like the same thing was going to happen, but I think he dealt with it, or they dealt with it between them. Maybe him and Burke, I think it might have been. But yeah, he was just composed. I did want to see more attacking stuff from him on the corners and that, but that'll come. But yeah, strong presence, playing in that position. I think for the first time, maybe, right, with the other 2 anyway. So I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Terry's gone with the same. He says McGuinness looks solid, 7.5. Moving on to Mengi. Obviously got the goal, great goal, especially for a defender, like I say, to hit that first time, outside the box, no deflections, nothing. Great goal. Obviously, he's got the old Matty Pearson chant, that ringing around in the away end. So yeah, that'll be good. Hopefully we'll get involved on that on Saturday, Dad. But yeah, no, he was good. He could be again another player that could be up there for man of the match. Did get a yellow. I mean, but a few question marks. Was it actually yellow? Was it not? I mean, he did kick the ball away, but it weren't bad. He kicked it like 2 yards, not even that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a bit ridiculous from the referee, to be honest. I thought the referee was bang average, some of the decisions he was giving. But yeah, Mengi, as for his rating, I'll give him 7.5.
I'm going to give him an 8. Obviously the goal was a big part of that. He had another shot, which was a decent shot. The keeper, did smother it.
Nearly got a brace, yeah. That'd been really good.
He was decent defensively as well. Yeah, the kicking the ball, I'm not bothered about that. And I'll give him that little bit higher because, of that goal, basically. Do you know what I mean? The winning goal. So I'm going to give him like 8.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. 7.5. Said Terry. Look back to his best. Yeah, I would agree. Because the other game, QPR wasn't too great, but yeah, he definitely looked like how he usually plays. McGuinness 10, Mengi 20. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to start with Doughty. Obviously, he was on that right predominantly in the game, driving forward, making things happen. Good crosses into the box. Obviously, he did have the shot for the goal, didn't he? That obviously got blocked. That probably was going in. I don't know if the keeper would have saved that, just with the way of how low driven it was. And yeah, had a good game. Predominantly on that right. So for me, I'll go another. No, I'll go over 7 actually, Doughty.
I thought it was decent. Like 7.5, giving him. He got a yellow card, but they were on attacking thing. He pulled him back. He does that. I'm not complaining about that. Just as dangerous on the right as he does on the left. Some teams are not sure it's good because they're gonna have to prepare for both scenarios now. Do you know what I mean? Because before they'd expected him to be on the left, so they'd get the players probably start to do that, and now they're not going to do it whether it's playing left or right. I thought he nearly scored himself, which obviously led to the goal. His deliveries were good. Yeah, I thought he was decent, man. I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Terry's going to say says that he was very aggressive. Obviously, he's a Millwall supporter as well. Yeah, no, obviously he is. And obviously, it was leaked when he was wearing them shorts, and everyone was like, "What?" But yeah, no, he played really well. Played really well in the game. Moving on to Bell, again, another player that played really well. Again, and I'll give a lot of credit to Bell because, like I say, he's played back-to-back games in a different continent. Then to come in and do as well as he did in this game, really good in the game. I didn't expect him to start just due to that, but he done really well. And again, good on the other side. So for me, for Bell, again, I'll go with another 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Nothing crazy, but it's the first time he started in that position for a while. But composed on the ball. Like I said, maybe not expecting him to start, but he done that before. I think he come back from Jamaica, and we thought the same. And he did. So you've got to be conscious of not overplaying him. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel he's fine, and he was the captain as well. So let's give him credit for that. I like him as the captain.
Yeah, he was saying that. Yeah.
Just doing his job basically on that side, not doing anything silly. Because obviously, I think he wants to try and remain in that position as well, which I want him to. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Even if because obviously you have Rio Waters going forward as well on the right. Hopefully, because then you have that back three predominantly of Mengi, McGuinness, and Burke. And then obviously if Burke gets injured, you've got Anderson to come in. Then you can put Waters on there, and then you can have. So you're not, you don't want to put too many games on them. You can have competition hopefully between Bell and Doughty on that left. And then when Hashioka's back, you can have competition with him and Rio Waters, hopefully.
Victor Moses, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Victor Moses has got. Yeah, bloody hell, I forgot about him because he didn't even come on, did he? He didn't really need to be fair.
No, he can play in the Doughty position, the Clark position, the Chong position.
He can play anyway. Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one. I think he might come on in the next game. I don't think he'll start, but I think he might come on.
Depending on how the game's going, I would agree.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll rest Clark because he's played every single game, I believe. So that we'll see anyway. But yeah,
1 or 2 changes at most, I reckon, for the weekend. But we'll see. We'll get into it obviously near the time. Bell 7 says Terry, same as us. Liam Walsh 25. We're getting to Walsh in a minute. Dowie 20 and Bell 20. Oh dear. Moving on to well actually, you know what? We go over to Walsh now. Again, he's my second closest to get man of the match. Really good first start for us. Really good, like I say, doing them complex passes. Won a lot of tackles as well in the game as well, which was really good to see at times as well. And yeah, he done well. Probably warrants a start again. The only thing is maybe is his injuries. Maybe you don't want to overplay him, but I don't know. It's hard to not play him at the moment because even games he's coming on in, he's impacting them. So for me, he's up there. And do you know what? I'm going to go with a. Do you know what? I'm going to go quite high for Walsh again. So I'd say second in my man of the matches. So I'm going to say 8.5.
he's my man of the match. You know, he got the assist. He adds that calmness in midfield. And like you say, he was putting some good tackles in there, not afraid to get it, you know, risk injury as well. Like he was diving in a bit, didn't get a card, had a couple of shots, you know. You can see he's got them long range, you know, ones on him. He's still, you know, he'll score a bang a few for us this season. He's gonna, you know, keep Rudder well out of the team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
His range passing is excellent. You know, almost similar to what Barkley was doing for us last season. And you know, he's having them chances. He's going to score definitely. And I just really noticed him on the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like everywhere. And really enjoying his football and that as well. He had a smile on his face, you know, and it was good to see. And I think it is a good decision that we signed him. Like, you know, if talking about it, he was probably, let's be honest, probably quite an underwhelming signing because I hadn't really heard much about him, and we thought, oh, he's mates with Clark or whatever, or this, that, and the other, and then, you know, his injury record. I don't look too much into injury records that much. Depends what age they are and stuff like that as well. And you know, Rob Edwards, when he was at Everton, he was meant to be like, you know, the next bit. You can see why. And I'd say that Barkley's probably one of his, like, you know, sort of idols or whatever. You know, the style of play, you know, that kind of. So I thought he was really effective in the midfield, and that's what we've been lacking. And you know, he made things happen. His calmness on the ball, and yeah, he's fresh, mate. He's my man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Ever since the departure of Barkley, we have been missing someone like that early on in these games. But yeah, no, like I say, he was up there for a large part of the game on the watch along. He was actually up there for me, but then just some of the blocks Burke was doing just edged him for me in the game. But yeah, man, like he definitely warrants a start again for me, 100%. With that, Walsh, 8, lovely left foot, got stuck in, reminds me of O'Hare. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, to be fair, with a certain way he crosses it in and stuff like
I think he's.
that. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I think for me, I think Callum O'Hare's a bit lazy. Do you know what I mean? He's got the technical ability, but I don't see him all over the pitch like I see Walsh. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather have Walsh, mate, than O'Hare, mate.
Yeah, but yeah, moving on to the next one, Nakamba. Again, good to see him in. You know, his first league start, and you could tell we missed him. Just certain things he was doing, you know, cleaning up the mess, you could say, essentially. Not that it was a mess, but you know, just at times when they were going forward, his tackling, getting stuck in, allowing, you know, Walsh to have that luxury to go forward and have chances like he did. You know, play in them good passes and stuff. And yeah, Nakamba was good. You know, it's good to see him back. I probably would start him again, definitely. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit longer until we see Kraus, but definitely for the meantime, I'll be starting him because he is the only CDM available at the moment. So yeah, for me, Nakamba, I'll go with a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought it wasn't. He's not match, you know, proper match fit, match sharp yet. But you can still see his abilities. He's got that real quality, that real experience, and you know, he was involved with the goal as well. So yeah, I'll give him a 7. I don't think we're going to. We might see him start the next game. We might see Baptiste come back in. You know,
yeah, it'd be interesting actually because Sheffield Wednesday play as well.
Yeah, because are we playing in the Tuesday after that or not?
No, it's my bad. So so we're playing Plymouth after that on the Friday, which I'm going to, and then we're playing on the Tuesday of that.
Yeah, so that's when we will definitely make more changes and switch like and that. So maybe we'll start, but yeah, you know, we don't want him. You know, he hardly played for us last season. You know, Premier League and that, and he missed out. Do you know what I mean? And I think he will be pivotal to us, but he's just still getting back up to the thing. He didn't make no mistakes or anything like that. But then at the same time as well, he wasn't rash with stuff, because sometimes, he's sort of guaranteed a yellow card at times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I remember last night, even though it was only a pre-season game, I remember we played Sheffield Wednesday, gave away that penalty, didn't he? Do you remember right at the start?
But yeah, I thought it was decent. He didn't play the whole game either, as we know. So yeah, I'll give him 7.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Always in the right position to tidy up, says Terry. 8. Yeah, no, that's true. And then moving on to the front three, essentially. We'll start off with Chong. Again, had that chance. If he scored that, that'd have been a wicked goal. And yeah, he was, causing threat, getting fouled like always. But he was actually getting free kicks at times. Sometimes he doesn't always. But yeah, good in the game. Again, warrants a start because even though he had a good game, he is one of them players that won't have a great game overall, but then he can still do something, in like the last 10 minutes or something. So yeah, in this game he was good though. So for me, I'll go with been given a lot of them, but I'll go with another 7.
I'll give him a 7.5. Again, he was another player for me who I noticed quite a lot. His cross caused the panic that led to the goal. Then he had that shot, very unlucky, and constantly driving forward. The referee, there was one time and he got fouled, and the referee was like, "Nah, you dived, or it weren't a foul." Bit annoying, but he's always a threat. Players are scared of him, and he's just getting better and better. And we know what he's capable of. You know what I mean? And I like to see him in the team. And he can score goals as well. Important goals as well sometimes. The goal against Liverpool, crazy. But yeah, I like him, and he's like I say, he's pretty much going to be guaranteed start. I think he's making that position his now, and I'd rather have him there than Morris there. Do you know what I mean? He's much effective. So
I think Chong's
7.
better as that sort of player you have behind anyway, because he's good at playing the balls in as well. And that's why in this game I'll put him Cam going into it.
And in the absence of Doughty on that left hand side, like where he was taking on that responsibility and putting the crosses in, and they were like I said, they were decent. I think he was really good. He's up there for me, but 7.5.
Yeah, he was good again. And then moving on to Clark, again, it was good to see him higher up. Again, he was good in the game. Had a few opportunities and that, but yeah, he was decent. Decent, effective in the game. So again, another one, but I'm going to go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He had that shot as well, but he was involved. He looks more confident in that position. I know he can play, in the midfield and that as well. But like I said before, I like to see him there. I think he's played a lot of games, and I think he might be rested potentially in the next game. But yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. Terry went with the same. He said he's better further forward. Yeah, I'd have to agree. As much as he can do a decent job in that midfield, I think he's an attacking midfielder, isn't he? So much better there. Chong 8 went on some good runs. Yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to the last player that started was obviously Elijah. Again, done decent in the game. His hold up play is pretty good. He was actually getting fouled, and he was actually getting free kicks at times. I was a bit surprised about that because he never usually does. But yeah, he was all right. Still quite hasn't got that goal, but this weekend that could be a good opportunity to get it, I reckon. And then kickstart. We know he's more than capable of doing that. He just needs that confidence booster, and then he should get a lot more goals as the season goes on. After getting his first at some point. So yeah, for me in this game, I'll give him again another 7. I know I've gone with a lot, but I'm going to go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He's still trying to find proper form. Sometimes I feel like he might try and do too much with the ball, and end up getting tackled or losing it. Once he gets going, hopefully it'll be fine. But he is better than he used to be at keeping hold of the ball. But sometimes I think he just needs to play the because he has like 3 people on him straight away and things like that. Or he doesn't really get that much time. That's a bit frustrating, but I don't think he was that bad. He laid it off for Walsh to have a shot as well. The defensive headers away was pretty decent, as they always are from him. You know what I mean? So in that respect, I'll give him a 7 because he was part. Obviously, we do like to see a lot more from him. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. But defensively, even though he's more of an attacker, obviously we know he done well. It's like Terry says here, he done good headers from corners. But I noticed that a lot with him. Heads it away quite a lot from corners and stuff. But he's done that for quite a while since he's been at Luton. But yeah, even that bit where he done well to get out of it, and then he played it back to Kaminsky. Done the safe thing, done really well to even get out of it. He had like 3 players on him. It was decent. But yeah, moving on to the players that come on. 3 changes in this game. First one, Morris. It doesn't warrant him a start. Coming on in the game. Tried a few things, but yeah, I think I'll just go 6.5.
Yeah, same. Just 6.5. Just come on and just that position in it, but didn't really affect it. Actually, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, I nearly went with a 6. Ruddock obviously had that mistake, which nearly cost us. Great save from Kaminsky. But to be fair, after that, as much as he shouldn't really be making a mistake like that at this level, he done well, to be fair to him, after that. So, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one with Ruddock. I don't know if to go over 6 because of that or 6.5. I'll probably just go 6.5.
I'll just give him a 6. It's a bit of a hospital pass, nearly cost us, but as you say, after that, it's getting more composed and then actually made a good burst forward to keep the ball, the pressure on them a little bit and that. But yeah, but he was the only midfielder on the bench, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So, well, Nelson was as well, but obviously, but
he's more attacking. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah. And then Holmes, I'll just go over 6 because he come on in the 90th plus 3rd minute, so I can't really say anything else. But yeah, that when it comes to that. So that has now put Burke and Walsh in the man of the matches on our hat shows. Obviously, Baptiste is still in the lead with 4. And then joint second at the moment is Mengi, Clark, and Nelson. And like I say, Burke and Walsh have added to the mix. As for the points, still got nothing, Dad. It's been a while since we've both got something. Still 2-0 to me as it stands. Obviously, we both said a draw going into it. I mean, I got how many goals Millwall score, right? But not quite us in that one. But yeah, obviously, move on to that Sheffield Wednesday game. But yeah, that's everything. That's everything on today's. Dad, any final things you want to say before we end it?
Get that first win. That's done and dusted now. So we just push on from there. And yeah, I'd like to see like more of the same. I don't think there'll be too many changes. Like I said, it might be 1 or 2, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we went with exactly the same team. And the crowd should be a lot more lively, and I'm looking forward to it because we're in the new stand as well. That's going to be a nice view. And we should be beating Sheffield Wednesday at home. Let's be honest. Like, if we're looking to in the promotion mix up, we should be winning home games anyway. No matter who we're playing, we should be trying to, you know what I mean. But Sheffield Wednesday, particularly, especially the way they play. Yes, they've got a couple of good players. Bannon's a legend of the club and that, but we've played against him on numerous occasions, and I don't even know if he scored against us before, to be honest. I think we normally keep him quite quiet, getting frustrated and that. So we'll be looking to do that again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We've got a good record against them, so we need to try and climb up the table. We've got to get a few, say technically winnable games. If we play the right way and show our technical ability and Bob Edwards gets that best out of them, then I don't see why we can't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Good opportunity. Like I say, we will be at the game. So yeah, man, that's that. When it comes to that. And yeah, I'll obviously do a vlog and then do some fan cams after as well. So if you are going, obviously do come up to us and stuff, and the regulars will be there, like David and stuff like that. So that'll be good when it comes to that. And yeah, that's that. On this, we'll be back again, obviously on Friday, to preview the game in more depth. And yeah, nothing else as it stands from me. Maybe a few shorts, but no videos or anything until then. And yeah, do tune into Lewis's channel tomorrow though. He will be doing a watch along to the Villa game. Obviously, they're kicking off stuff in the Champions League, so I'll be backstage doing stuff for him there. So obviously, do tune into that. I'll put it on a community post when it's scheduled and all of that. And yeah, that's that. When it comes to that, make sure you checked everything out else out on the channel up to date if you haven't already. So obviously the shorts and obviously the videos from the other day and stuff like that. And then yeah, that's everything for this one. So smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe. New subscriber today as well. So do appreciate that. And then obviously yeah, follow me across all my socials if you're not already. And yeah, link to them is all in the description. And yeah, until Friday, we will see you lot in a bit. So yeah, man, we'll be at the Sheffield Wednesday game. Like I say, I will be at the Plymouth game as well. So yeah, man, a lot of games coming up, a lot of match day vlogs and stuff. So yeah, big up to everyone. And until next time, we'll see you lot in a bit. Take care and peace.
Peace.